Time is 6:51. I call this meeting of the Cal Chelsea Independent School District to order. Mr. Morales, can I have a roll call?
Sure can. Mr. President, Robert Smallsbury.
Present.
Vice President Chris Morales here. Trustee Juan Ibarra. Secretary Bobby Peacock. Trustee Rolando Lozano.
Here.
Trustee Fernando Torres.
Here.
Trustee Tony Barco.
Here. Thank you, Mr.
Board
Morales.
President, we have a quorum.
Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Heavenly Father, be with us this evening as we carry out the deliberations that are important to the district's operations. Be our strength and guide by giving us patience and understanding so that issues may be worked out justly and fairly for all. We ask in thy holy name, amen. Amen. If we can also remain standing for a moment's silence for the passing of Mr. Richard Rivera Jr. Thank you. Okay. Item 3, comments from the public, citizen communication.
Yes, Mr. Board President, we have a couple of speakers, but before we get started, I'd like to read the rules in accordance with Board Policy BED Local. Audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the public comment portion of the meeting designated for that purpose. At all other times during a board meeting, the audience shall not enter in discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board unless requested by the presiding officer. Persons who wish to participate in this portion of the meeting shall sign up with the presiding officer or designee before the meeting begins and shall indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. No presentation shall exceed 5 minutes. Specific factual information or recitation of existing policy may be furnished in response to inquiries, but the board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted without notice of the meeting. The presiding officer or designee shall determine whether a person addressing the board has attempted to solve a matter administratively through resolution channels established by policy. If not, the person shall be referred to the appropriate policy to seek resolution. The board shall not tolerate disruption of the meeting by members of the audience. If after at least one warning from the presiding officer, any person continues to disrupt the meeting by his or her words or actions, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the person removed from the meeting. The rules for public comment are not to allow specific individuals to be named during this portion. So anybody who attempts to do that will be stopped and asked to continue without naming specific people. And if they continue, they will be asked to stop public comment until they're done. So our first speaker, Mr. Board President, members of the board, is Mr. Richard Martinez.
Please approach the podium. Mr. Martinez.
How y'all doing today? Since April, I put a grievance, the first and second grievance, and now I put the third grievance. It's already been 3 months, and I've just been asking for a response for the third grievance. I don't know if you know about this, but my daughter's been going through cyberbullying. She's been going through a depression ever since we started this grievance. And we are here for the kids. I know you guys are here also for the kids, not just for ourselves, right? So I just want a response or closure for my family and for my daughter, because I don't think it's fair that she's barely 16 years old and going through situations like this. She's been doing what she's been doing. She's 4 years old. And for something to be taken away just like that, just because of a personal vendetta or whatever, is not fair. If somebody has something against me or my family, take it out on us because we're adults, but not on children like this. Please, I've been asking just for a resolution for this problem. I don't need to continue this anymore. And it just hurts me because it's my daughter. I never asked you guys for a favor, never done anything for myself. And I'm just asking for closure for my daughter, for my family. That's all I'm asking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The next speaker, Mr. Board President, is Mr. Matt Wilson.
Gentlemen, I'm Matt Wilson, and I'm the new education reporter for the Monitor. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to come out and introduce myself. I'll be covering the district. We're always looking for good stories, highlighting teachers or students or anything newsworthy. So feel free to reach out. I brought some business cards.
Okay.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Matt, where are you from?
Edinburgh, believe it or not.
Must be the north side.
Just wanted to make sure you weren't from Mercedes. Just wanted to make sure you weren't from Mercedes.
I didn't go to school there.
Thank you. You forgot your card, man.
Okay.
Mr. Board President, our next speaker is Mr. John Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, approach the podium.
First of all, as a parent, I want to extend a sincere condolences to Dr. Javetta on the loss of his son. As a parent, I've never experienced such tragedy, but my heart, my condolences goes out to him and his family. I have two topics really that I want to bring before the board, and one of them is on the threshold of a board policy that's supposed to be adopted tonight. Up until this school year, my wife who was a former school teacher, and I have two children that were enrolled here with the district, and I truly enjoyed their educational experiences that they had here. Up until there was a breach of the student confidentiality, the breach of confidential student-parent information that we were alerted about this summer. On the threshold of the adoption of a TASB model, I bring to the board the concerns that I have as a parent. My 5-year-old has had his information breached. I cannot attribute it to the information that was submitted in as part of his registration for the district. But he's a 5-year-old and he shouldn't be applying for a credit card or a car loan at his age, at least not now. So my question to you as members of the board who are supposed to be stewards of this information is what procedure will ensure that this not take place, that breach of information, which includes not only student information, but also includes parent information, not be shared with the general public. Also, what remedies, and I challenge the board, what remedies are you providing to all of these recipients, all these students and their parents who have had their information breached in some form or fashion? And I challenge the board to outline those tonight on the threshold of the first TASB policy involving technology, and how those motherboards or databases are going to be diminished or destroyed in a way that will ensure the confidentiality of the information that we're sharing with you as stewards of this district. The second topic.
Just real quick, Mr. Gonzalez, you reference an individual in your topic. I would ask that you not reference that person's name during your comments, and if you do, you'd be in violation of our board rules.
You outlined the parameters in terms of what concern that I have by identifying the individual, okay? He's neither an employee of the district, he is a steward and a public servant. He was elected as a member of the board, and he is held to a higher standard than the general public. We placed his trust, the trust of the constituents and the electorate here of Edcouch Elsa, into his hands, along with you. And we hold them to a higher standard. What I am petitioning this board is that this member who serves as a member of the board, who has been arrested on 4 different charges to include a felony, be removed as a representative of this board. In good conscience, I could not have my own children come to a district in where an elected official is taunting the rules and the expectations and the laws that are defined by this state, and not serving as a moral compass for our children. And I'll share some comments that, when I quote from the Rio Grande Monitor, as well as RGV Justice, that states the following. And I will refrain, Mr. Castillo, from identifying the individual who serves in a seat that is currently held on this board. According to the Valley Central and Valley Monitor, on October the 2nd, Edcouch Elsa trustee, who also serves as a dual role for another party for the city manager's position. This following individual was arrested on 2 counts of abuse of official capacity, taken into custody by the Texas Rangers, in where he was quoted in the Monitor. he was using his position as Elsa City Manager to obtain confidential official records for the purpose of intimidating his political opponents into withdrawing from the November 2018 Edcouch Elsa ISD School Board, with the intent, and I quote, to obtain a benefit and to harm or defraud the individual who was his opponent during the 2018 Edcouch Elsa School Board, allowing him to sit on this position as a board member. Knowing this and being charged with this, his position should be null and void. He should not hold a position of esteem on this board.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, members of the board, we have a Miss Rosalinda Hensley.
Ms. Hensley? Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
And Rachel
Medina.
Hensley.
Oh, okay.
Richard was my brother.
Oh, wow.
All right. Nice. Thank you for coming by.
First of all, thank you for allowing us to come over here and say, a couple of words. Second, on Friday, Richard's anniversary date will be here, but I'm a little emotional
It's
still.
No, it's
also
okay.
It's her anniversary today.
Yeah, no. Okay.
So this is not helping things too much.
No.
But we want, the family wanted to say thank you for everything that you guys did.
Above and beyond.
Not just you guys, but
Oh, the teachers.
well, you guys showed what truly a community is, and that is to come together as a family. Teachers gave up their times, their days, money,
Sick leave,
sick leave.
vacation days.
You guys gave everything you could, and we want to thank you for everything. And he was always afraid nobody liked him, but
Yeah.
if he could see what you guys have done, he would know that he was truly loved by him. And we also want to say thank you for renaming the building, the technology department, under his name, because he
Who worked,
very, very
his
proud.
whole life was focused on the kids of this district
Yes,
to get
the
them-
best education.
and which is apparently Wi-Fi.
He worked very, very hard for the district. He loved the children. He loved the teachers.
He loved his job.
He did.
he loved his
truly
job.
did. And we just really don't want you guys to think that we don't appreciate or didn't appreciate or didn't take the time to come and tell you guys. It just, everything happened so fast. And I know that
The loss
of his son just makes it harder on us because, we want him to have his time too. And I don't overtake, everything that's going on. But please know that we appreciate
plus
everything.
wrapping our brain around this being already a year
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it was a month ago.
No.
It's been very hard on our family and her family, so that we've finally gotten it together. But when we talk about them, it's like it was yesterday. But thanking you all should have been a priority because
Yes.
this district pulled it together and
Yes.
helped him so he could focus on getting better. God just had other plans for him. And we love everyone who did anything to just give him a kind word was as much as giving the money and the time.
I know that there isn't an official date yet for the ceremony, but know that we appreciate it and we will be
And
patient.
we want to be involved any
Yes.
way we can help.
Definitely.
Um,
No, we'll
I
make
think you
sure we'll
have
contact
a
Joe.
new newspaper guy that can
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah, we'll make sure he does a story on him. Definitely. We'll make sure he
Well,
does a story.
Basically, we just wanted to say thank you.
We want a little notice because everybody actually came down from different states to do this ceremony
For
Friday. That didn't come out, but we knew if it didn't for any reason, that we would we're going to have some flowers over there at 10 o'clock in the morning and just take some pictures and things.
We'll be bringing
But we'd
sweet
like to
bread.
know,
Yeah.
yes, we're gonna bring sweetbreads if you want. We wanted to know if we could get some notice, because they burned up a lot of points and other things to get here. And if we get a month or two's notice, they will have time to figure out how to come for this ceremony, because they're going to want to come.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
just-
what we do December?
For December.
Ooh, holidays.
Yeah,
I think
for
the
the holidays.
December meeting could be something like that. Doctor, could we look at maybe setting something up for December meeting?
Yes.
This way, give them right now the notice that in
Okay,
December meeting.
good.
No,
Well,
just keep in contact with Mr. Rivera. and-
Dr. Rivera.
Dr. Rivera,
and
shoot for
he can
December.
Schedule something.
We can do that. We usually go through Ms. Roach.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mrs. Roches,
We'll
yeah,
put more
let's,
things on her plate that she
Yeah,
needs.
well, it'll probably be referred that way.
Yes, probably so. It's easy to
Yeah.
pick up the phone and talk
Yeah.
to someone we've been talking to, but
But
that's fine.
basically, just thank you, thank you, thank you.
From
thank
the
you.
bottom of our family's heart, and
Yes.
He was my third grade teacher.
I know.
she said, Richard taught him. I said,
He was
Yeah,
one of
that
my,
was
one of my
special
favorite
place.
teachers. One of my favorite teachers.
yeah, when he was, I think that he taught very little bit of time, and when this opportunity for the extended education with Wi-Fi and stuff, he dove into it because he was so excited.
Yeah.
And that excitement,
He knew
I-
that this was something that,
Okay, I know. we
Yeah, I
can't-
know
we're
our
close.
time's
Yeah,
up.
time's up. Yeah.
So-
We've got to follow.
Thank you
follow
all. It's not rude, it's
Thank,
the
but
rules.
thank you for
yes,
coming by.
thank
Thank you for
you.
coming by.
Thank you.
We'll,
Thank
we'll
you.
be in touch.
thank you.
That concludes public comment, Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to superintendent report. Dr. Rivera.
Yes, Mr. President. I'm passing out the, my presentation. I have 16 pages. And on page 2, I'll start with the enrollment on the 7th week. And you can see that, like other districts, we're losing students. But compared to last month, right now, we're minus 138. But with the pre-K 3, we're actually a plus 33. And later on, I'll discuss this, but just based on this enrollment and based on the ADA, right now we're looking at gaining a plus $600,000 more for this coming budget based on the ADA. So even though it's minus 138 with the budget the way it was set, and with the high ADA, we're again with a plus $600,000 for next year's budget. On page 3, I want to give the board an idea where our students are going. The numbers that are here are students that were enrolled the last school year, but for this school year, they're not enrolled for 2019-2020. And you can see that most of the students went, we had 71 who went to IDEA, 39 to Westlaco, 24 to Edinburgh, 11 to La Villa, total of 145, and 46 students went to other districts with less than 10, and some of these went out of the valley, 28. So what we're looking, though, is some of these kids left the district because of housing or because of employment. So, but we're also looking, and next month I'll report to you, of these 145 of the larger districts, how many of these students, of these 145, that the parents still live in Edcouch Elsa ISD, but the kids are going elsewhere. So that's the next report for next month. On page 4, even though we lost students, now we gain new ones, and you can see that from Westlaco, 24 moved into our district, Edinburgh 12, Monte Alto 12, IDEA 9, total 57. And the kids that left, they're still coming in. In fact, we had 2 who came in today from IDEA. So total, there were about 100 new kids that came into our school district.
Doc,
Yes.
real quick, right here where it says out of the valley, total 18 that came back. Is this attributed to some of our migrant students that are coming back, or
Well,
are these just new students?
no, these are new students
Okay.
from other districts.
Okay,
From other districts.
Okay.
These are, the 100 are brand new to us that were not here last year.
perfect.
On page 5, we talked about last month, okay, what are we gonna do with these students? We have to go out there and come up with a plan, trying to get our kids back. And again, as I said, many of our kids are coming back. So we're gonna set up a committee of the board, administrators, teachers. The main purpose is to retain and recruit our kids back. The committee will work on ways to have our kids and parents, want them to feel important, safe, valuable, and treated with dignity and respect. This is one reason that I've noticed this. Some of the ones that leave, maybe they feel that they're not treated with respect. The people don't listen to them when they come to see them. They're not friendly. So I want to make sure, and I told the principals already, that we want to treat, again, our parents with a big smile when they come to see us, that they are important and we value that they come to our district. We're also going to send a letter to the students that didn't return back. Again, the students that the parents live here, but they're going elsewhere, and we're going to conduct home visits to these students that are going elsewhere, but their parents live in the district. This is kind of a plan of what we're going to do, trying to do to get our kids back. On page 6, I wanted to show a current status of the construction projects. The David Ibarra Fine Arts, that is complete. We're finalizing payment. The Ag Building, a walkthrough was completed on Friday, October the 4th. We do not have the keys when I thought we'd get the keys by today, so we don't have the keys. Substantial completion is pending board approval tonight. And when we get to the agenda item, the attorney will address things that we need to do on the Ag Building. The high school gym floor is being used already, and final payment is pending. The technology center, the food service that was during the June flooding is complete. On page 7, I want to discuss a little bit what I mentioned last month. The district received a grant of $300,000 from TA. It's a school action fund planning grant, and this is phase 1. It's for Carlos Truan Junior High School and for Ibarra Middle School, Ibarra sixth grade campus. The purpose is to improve the instructional program at Carlos Truan and Ibarra sixth grade campus. There are several options. The district selected one to restart a struggling school. Of the amount, $300,000, the money will be used for staff development, travel to visit schools that have this kind of program, and some technology. In October, the administrators will visit schools in Dallas. Mr. Morales told me that there's a school in Edinburgh that also has this grant on struggling schools. We'll find out about that one. So we're going to visit schools. In November, our committee, our campus team, will submit a plan for the board to approve. And at the November meeting, we're going to submit the plan to TEA for the phase 2, which is between $500,000 and $2 million. So again, we'll be working on this grant, and then when we get the grant, it contains a lot more items that we can use in our 2 schools. On page 8.
Doc, I have a question real quick.
Yes.
So this mentions ACE program. Is this to prepare this district to apply for that program, or because I know we don't have it, and that's one program I would like for the district to have.
It's a
Yes.
grant we already,
The ACE program, the after school.
Yes. This includes
program.
after school.
But this is it.
Yes. Yes.
I think it's over 300,000.
No, that's a phase 2.
Oh,
That's the phase 2, the one for the
to get
500
to
to $2
get
million.
into the $2 million.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the phase 2, and where you pay also incentive monies to the staff, to teachers.
Yes.
I believe
That's the phase 2.
the 300,000 is just for planning.
Yes,
For the planning
planning,
part.
and,
Yeah,
yes.
my wife's a ACE coordinator
Good.
as well in
Uh-huh.
the district she's at, and she loves it. The kids get to utilize it after school tutoring.
Yes.
And I know that's something I would love to have here at the district. So I'm glad to see this happening
Yes.
here at Cal Chelsea.
Thank you. On page 8, these are needs that we're doing right now. We're planning some of these items. Others we're doing right now. So roof leaks at JFK, we've done that one. Right now, we're studying playground equipment district-wide. The gate, the outside gate, the wing carpentry, we're doing that. The administration building, we had the roof leaks and the wall leaks, so we're doing that right now. We're looking at the district-wide roof leaks. We're looking at the warranty. We're looking at a netting for Garcia Elementary to eliminate the pigeon nesting. We're looking also to air condition. I think there's 2 or 3 elementary gyms that are not air conditioned. We've done H. We've done the expansion of the administration conference executive room. On the agenda is the boiler room. We are kind of behind in technology needs, so we'll address this at future board meetings. We've also repaired the stadium lights on the visitors parking lot, and we're getting a new tile at Truana Library. These are some of the needs. There's still other ones. And on page 9 is what I discussed with the board last month. We have monies available in three different accounts: the self-funded unemployment, the self-funded workers' compensation, the SHARS deferred revenue. So I'm proposing for us to look at maybe moving some of these monies out later on for budget amendments. And if we move some of this money out to the right, you'll see that we still have $2 million left. We're not taking all the money out. And again, the board will decide how much of this you want to take out to use on different needs that the district has. So again, this is not being done tonight. It's just to give you an idea that we have $2 million available if the board wants to go in this direction. And we'll still have monies in the 3 accounts to help us with, in case something happens in these areas. On page 10, at the last month's meeting, there were some questions about the maintenance custodial expenditures. And I just wanted to kind of show you the budget. This is the budget last year, 2018, 2019, maintenance custodial. And the total for both departments is $7.1 million. So this 2.746 is for payroll. The professional and contracted is 3.5 million. And I'll explain that on the next page what this is for, but this is like for electricity, water, gas, things of this nature. Supplies and materials, other operating expenses, property insurance, and the total again, the expenditures was $7.1 million. On page 11, if you can look at the 3.509, this is how the money is being used for professional and contracted services. You can see that the bigger amount is the 6249, contractors, maintenance and repairs, and this is like for independent contractors. The water, the telephone, electricity, gas, utilities. Then the contracted services, the 6299, the almost $1 million, that is to pay architects or contractors or uniforms for our staff. So again, the board wanted to know how this money was spent, and this is the maintenance and custodial. On page 12, I think some questions arose on transportation, and this account has about $2 million. Most of it is payroll. We have on supplies and materials $278,000. A lot of this is for the insurance. And then the last one, the 228, the district purchased 2 buses and another vehicle. So the $2 million is the transportation budget. On page 13, I wanted to show the board the fleet, and you can see that we still have 2005 buses, 71 passengers, and you can see all the ones from the oldest to the new ones. There are over 30 buses, and just information for the board. On page 14, there were some questions also that were asked at the last meeting about contracted services. So page 14 has a total, in our budget, it was $10.6 million. And then you can see where the different accounts, where this money was budgeted. 10.6 million. Then to the left of the 10.6, you can see that federal was 867, then local maintenance was almost 9.7. And then you see the other programs as the money was spent from the local funds. So this is, for last year, what we spent on contracted services. On page 15, some good news to report to the board, that after we've looked back to see what the last year's budget, what the amount was left over, so now the calculation is that we have a healthy fund balance of 13.5 million, which is okay with the 3 months reserve that we have. So hopefully we do not touch the fund balance, so we can allow it to remain there and have the 3 month supplies. The last slide that I have is also good news. I mentioned to you that our budget for this school year was based, or the ADA was based on 4,376 students. At the end of the first 6 weeks, the amount was 4,224 ADA. So this 4,467, in fact, is growing a little bit even this week. We had 10 more. So long story short, by having a higher ADA than what we budgeted, again, this is where we bring in the $600,000 more into the district. And the goal that I have is, in case next year we have to reduce the ADA, the goal that I have is to use this money, plus we've got about $400,000 that we also saved through attrition, teachers we didn't hire. So my goal is to have $1 million here in our surplus to be used for next year's 2021 budget. So we should be okay. Even if we reduce the ADA, the $1 million will go back and help us. But again, the goal here, and the principals know this, is to increase this ADA. So right now, financially, we're doing good. Questions on any of these slides?
I'd like to thank the principals. I know y'all have been working hard to get those numbers up, and obviously they're showing. We had a good increase here the last couple of weeks, so thank y'all for pushing your staff and PEMS clerks. I know they're working really hard to try to get these numbers up. So again, just thank y'all.
Any questions for Dr. Rivera?
The only thing for the next meeting on the bus fleet,
Yes.
maybe a little breakdown more of, on each
Mileage.
bus, the mileage.
Mileage.
And I think the question I had also was about the amount of fuel that we were purchasing at the end. Maybe a Pareto showing how much fuel we've purchased in the last couple of years and how many routes, because obviously we know that routes haven't increased. I want to see if we can get a little bit more detail, miles,
We can do this.
fuel, just a breakdown, just to have an idea.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Rivera, for your
Thank you, Doc.
presentation. Okay, moving on to item 5, consent agenda items.
If there aren't any questions or comments on the consent agenda items, nothing's going to get pulled. I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda items as presented. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Torres. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 6, presentation by Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson, LLP, on the EDCAL Chelsea ISD delinquent tax collection report for September 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019.
Good evening, President.
State your name and
Jimmy Gonzalez for the record.
Okay.
President, school board members. It's my pleasure to report delinquent tax collection report for fiscal year 2018. You should have a report in front of you. Just to let you know, the Linebarger works in 2 principal ways with your taxpayers. Number 1 is just to get in connection with them or contact with them to initiate payment plans. And if that doesn't work, we move forward to litigation. For the past year, on page 3 of the report, you can see that we did 8 demand letter mail outs in your area, totaling over 3,000 statements, initiated over 6,000 telephone calls, and over 360 visits to the property, try to get in contact with taxpayers to initiate payment agreements. When that doesn't work, we move forward to litigation. During this past year, we did over 26 lawsuits were filed, disposed of over 91 cases, took 38 judgments, and there are currently over 130 pending litigations as of September 2019 that we're still moving forward to the district courts. to initiate further collections and payments. Once we take judgment, the last step, if we still can initiate any kind of payment plans, is to sell that property. For this past year, there were 38 properties that were sold within Ed Couch Elsa ISD, totaling roughly $291,000 for the district. I'm happy to announce that compared to last year, there was an increase in collections by Linebarger. This year, there was collections of $368,000 in base tax, $255,000 in principal and interest, for a total of $623,000 for total collections to Ed Couch Elsa ISD. That's an increase of over $47,000 from last year and a collection rate of over 4% from last year. So we did good. We continue to try to hit that mark, and it's our goal to hit that mark and improve every year, and I don't see any reason why that's not going to continue for this next year.
Good, good.
Are there any questions?
My question would be is that, obviously, the percentage that you're showing is, I guess it's an 8% as far as overall. What did you do differently this year that you didn't do in years past?
You know what? I wish I could take credit. I'm fairly new to Linebarger. I've been there for about 6 months. I came over from Hidalgo County Public Defender's Office, so I'm not going to take any credit. I'm the new guy. I know we have hired additional staff, and I know because of that, we're able to put different resources. So you're going to be seeing my face a lot here more as the attorney in this area, working with the other ones that you've known before. But we've expanded the office basically, so more hands are able to do more work and make more phone calls. I'm able to go to court more and get more judgments, and I think you can see the results that are happening already.
Well, I hope to see the results next year as well.
I hope so. Me too.
And you can't go down anymore.
No,
I know. That's the problem, right? I agree.
That's
Set
actually
the
really
bar.
good.
That's the problem,
That's
right?
$3,000.
It's a challenge, and we like that challenge.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Okay, let the record show that item B and C are going to get pushed till next month's meeting, so there will be no presentation on those. So we'll move on to item 7, discussion action items. Let the record reflect that item A will be posted or moved to the end of the after executive session, and we will be moving on to item B, discussion and action to approve a buy board quotes for the high school gym boiler replacement or seek other procurement options.
What I'd like to do here, with the board's permission, is to go ahead and have administration either find a way to repair the boiler, which we might do at a low cost, less than $2,000.
Oh, wow.
Or possibly Rudy is working with staff, or possibly for us to go out there and see if we need to replace a new one. And if it's less than $25,000, it doesn't need board approval. But if it's over, we'll come back to the board with proposals. So right now, we're working on this one. So right now, I recommend no action, and let us go back, and Rudy and I go back and find a way either to repair it if we can, or to go ahead and get a new one.
Okay, is everybody fine with
So move on doctor's recommendation.
Second.
Motion and second, motion by Mr. Torres, second by Mr. Lozano. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C, discussion and action on approval to continue services with Texas State Billing or to seek other proposals for the 2019-2020 school year.
Yes, this is the firm that does our SHARs, and it's very detailed, and difficult to understand unless you put in a lot of time to see if we're maximizing our funds. And right now, for the last few years, we've done business with Texas State Billing, and I hear some tell me we're maximizing in the discussions, and some say, but we're really not. There's more money to be collected. So I don't have an answer. The answer is to either continue with them or to seek other proposals for the new year and have someone else do the collecting.
This is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Let's just see what's out there.
Well, and my problem with that too is that based on, we're in the middle of a school year right now. I propose, or I guess my recommendation and I guess motion would be to keep Texas State billing just because of the sole purpose that we're already in the middle of the school year. They're already billing SHARs. They're already been trained on this particular system. It's really hard to come back and then make an expense to retrain someone if we find another billing company. I'd like to make a motion to just approve, Texas State billing and keep them on, and then go out and, seek other vendors at a more appropriate time, I believe.
Well, so then your motion would be to continue for this year?
Just for
the
this year,
2019-2020.
just for this year, and then we can revisit it at a more. I just don't think the timing is appropriate.
Should continue service with
I think we should have done this, prior to the school year
Is this a
starting.
yearly thing?
Well, what's the
Why is it
contract?
coming up right now?
Yeah.
So, and this contract, this is another yearly consider, then every year we're gonna have it at this time then? Can we go back to him and negotiate an extension for the
Right.
remainder of the year?
And,
then-
and then we go and seek at
Just-
the
yeah.
end. In,
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we, until the
April
end of the
or
year,
May.
Doc, and then we come back for,
Mr. Torres,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
could probably put it on in April, go out for proposals, and
Correct.
then approve it in May. That'll give them a month time to see
Yeah.
what's out there for the new 2021
2021 school year.
school year.
yeah, negotiate a contract, Doc. I mean, I guess that's what we're
Yeah,
saying, is
yeah.
negotiate a contract to
It makes sense.
extend it until the end of the year, and until, at the end, they'll have a
Until the end
chance
of
to come
school
in.
year.
Until the end of the school year, and that's it. And then
We
we'll
can
look
do
at
that.
it.
And that would be your second to...
That would be my second
Right.
to
Yeah.
Mr. Lozano's.
That'll work. Perfect.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Lozano to approve the continuation services of the Texas State billing, a second by Mr. Torres, with
Pending that.
well, not pending, but it's to approve,
Right.
but also the understanding that we're going to ask them for an extension to the end of the school year, and then we'll go out for proposals because their contract's ending on that. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, and we'll moving on to closed session. The Superintendent requests that the Board of Trustees convene in closed meeting as authorized by the provisions of the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. This executive session is in accordance with 551.074 and 551.071. The time is 7:33. We are now in executive session. Where are we at? We are now reconvening from executive session. The time is 8:25 p.m. Items that were discussed. One, discussion and consideration regarding case number C1057-15-ZG.
Yes, Mr. Board President, a settlement agreement was presented to you in closed sessions. The advice of counsel that y'all approve it as discussed in closed session.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Torres, second by Mr. Lozano. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's see, another item, discussion and possible action regarding personnel considering appointment, employment, resignation, retirement, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of public officer or employee.
You have the list, recommend and approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Torres, second by Mr. Lozano. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And item B, I don't gotta go over that, do I?
No, sir, we already took action on it.
Okay. Next item, adjournment.
Slow move. Do we need to go back on the other item?
Oh, yes. Hold on. Good, thank you, Mr. Lozano.
The one we had moved for after executive?
Okay,
Item A.
for the record, my recommendation to the board is to move this item to Monday, if we can table it, and have it posted for the agenda on Monday.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Barco, second by Mr. Torres, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. This item is tabled for Monday at noon, and now adjournment.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Torres, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. The time is 8:26 p.m.
Is that family pride?